Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash. And see this big smile? It's 8 out of 8. It's 9 out of 9. And it's a clean sweep, 10 out of 10 for Serie A. Now I'm going to have Tancredi with me. And I'll also have Alex Classic Tips, or at Alex Classic Tips. But before that, if you like this video, well, why wouldn't you like this video? It just gives you everything you want. Then press the button, ring the bell. You ring the bell, then we can notify you. And you'll never miss any content again. And if you press the link in the description, that will take you over to our articles on all of our soccer pages. And that'll be maybe from Martin or David or Alex, and there will be other sports from other writers as well. And remember, we've got Jason Radowitz doing the baseball, and he's absolutely flying as well, plus 269 parlay yesterday. So he'll be bouncing when we go live in just over an hour and a half. Now, gentlemen, I'll come to you first, Tan. 10 out of 10, every game was over 1.5 goals.
And you remember, we have been talking also about over 1.5 goals in the second half, which is actually being very special. Once again, more than 30 goals in this round. If I'm not mistaken, this time around have been 34, if I'm not mistaken. It's massive. As I want to do always the things in a different way, I have tried some more straight result than more goals, and I was punished. About that, but I don't hold grudges, as also my shirt demonstrates, because this Argentina shirt of Maradona, as you can see. And today, 30 years ago, we've been eliminated. Italy has been eliminated by Argentina at the World Cup. I'll try to take this as a good omen. I don't know in which way, but it's a good omen for the next round. Many goals, they won't stop. The goals won't stop.
Yeah, listen, it's just been an absolute turkey shoot. It's been like shooting fish in a barrel, and long may that continue. Now, before I go to Alex, and remember, you're our third guest. Get in the chat. Give us your good stories of this week, because, listen, that's what it's all about. You win, then we win, and we all like together. We can have a great time. Alex, what a week in Serie A.
Yeah, be careful, Flash, because the boss is watching, so you should put a great performance in this area. She's live with us, so we don't go into thin waters there, please.
I've got all nervous, Alex. What teams caught your eye this week, Alex?
What a midweek in Serie A, 6-2. I went and we learned a lot of stuff. We learned that Atalanta have a lot more experience right now. They did some catenaccio in the second half. Absolutely insane to think about Atalanta playing that waiting game to finish the match against Napoli, and Napoli failing to find the back of the net. We learned that Alexis Sanchez can be also good in that 6-0 of Inter against Brescia. He scored 1 goal and he delivered 2 assists. But in the bigger picture, a lot of goals, a lot of entertaining games, some surprises too, but like Roma yesterday. But we knew that Roma without Dzeko will be a tough match for them. So yeah, some interesting. I think that this round of fixtures this weekend is the most tough to predict till now from the restart of the Serie A.
No, it's the same. I mean, I did a Premier League show and it was exactly the same, Alex. I couldn't agree more. Before we get underway, just a couple of little bits. There's a thumb there. If you enjoy this video and you enjoy the work of both Alex and Tancredi, then please press it, because then it means I can go to my big bosses and say, listen, everyone loves Serie A. Let's keep doing these shows because they are for you and they're for us. Remember, we're a team. Now, the other thing I wanted to say, that there's been quite a few of you, one that doesn't understand the American odds. Well, we've put a link in the description as well that will take you over, and it converts from American to European. The other thing is sportsbookreview.com. We review sportsbooks. A lot of you have said we can't get these odds with our books. Then go to sportsbookreview.com. There's a whole host of books there. Go and join them. And remember, the more books you join, the better chance you've got of getting the value. Now, let's kick on. We're looking at value. We're going to start with Juventus. Minus 350, draw plus 500, and Torino, any price you like, but I'm going to give you plus 1,400, Tan.
Look, if we have just a view, I know it's derby. First of all, we must remind it's derby. In Italy, we say the derby is a game that you can't put in any category. Although out of the many Italian derbies, Turin, Milan, Genoa, Verona, a few times, and Rome, well, in the last years, to be honest, this has always gone in one direction. And this, especially if we look at what happened in the last week, Juventus have scored 9 goals in 3 games. Torino, again, have been disappointing. It doesn't look like Torino can really reborn. The spirit of Torino was vivid in the derby until 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Now, not anymore. The odds on Juventus winning are too low. If I have to pick one, I would say, I know that is a bet that many punters don't love, but I would say with no goals. So at least one team not scoring. Juventus conceded 1 in the last 3 games. It was against Genoa when the game was already won by a landslide. The thing is that Torino is struggling so much. Not only Juventus is conceding few, Torino is struggling so much to find the back of the net. They did it against Lazio, but it was on penalty. So unless some penalty event happen, I don't see them to do it. No goal. It's not American odds, it's European 160, more or less. I saw the no goal betting.
No, there's plenty of ways to go about this, Tancredi, because what you do is that we see Juventus winning the game. So it's Juventus win to 0. Both teams to score no. Maybe even Juve half-time, full-time, Alex.
Juve half-time, full-time, 183. Juve minus 1.5 on the Asian handicap, 183. I think that they can win easily by 2 clear goals. Since the restart of the Serie A, they covered the minus 1.5 Asian handicap in every match. And yes, they conceded that 1 goal against the Genoa, but it was already 3-0 the score when they conceded, and it was a mistake in my opinion. But it was clearly the change of lines, some replacements inside the team, and they conceded because they said, okay, 10 minutes till the end, we have 3-0, what can happen? I'm seeing the same approach. Ronaldo and Dybala are scoring in every match, both of them in each match in the last 3 matches. Some crazy goals also from Cristiano, also from Dybala. And I think that waiting for Belotti to score match in and match out is a huge mistake. They have only one player, this Torino side, Belotti. If Belotti doesn't score, nobody will score there. And with Juventus rock solid defense, I think that Torino will fail to find the back of the net. But in case they do, I will not play that win to 0 thing, because they might again change the lines in the last 10-15 minutes of the game and they can concede a goal. So this is why my only 2 options here, with that brilliant attacking firepower, with Bernardeschi also, with the Cristiano and the Dybala again, were expecting them to score at least one of them in this game. I'm going Juventus minus 1.5 on the Asian handicap at 1.83 and halftime, full-time at 1.83. And let's not forget that only in one match they were leading from halftime. In the other 2 matches, they solved the matches in the second half. But I really believe that this is a derby and they will come out strong. Because, after all, it's a derby, believe it or not, when we're talking about Juve and Torino.
No, absolutely. I think that's the safest way to go, because you can see this being 2-0, 3-0, 3-1. Go with the minus 1.5, and that's only because with VAR in play, there could be a dodgy penalty or something could go against you. So even though I think they will win to 0, you're getting the same price for the minus 1.5. I see them scoring 2 or 3 goals. So I think that we've sorted out Juve, and we've got plenty in now. Pronosticos deportivos. Listen, he's the god. He never gets anything wrong. We love him in the chat. And remember, we've got everyone else. El Rey says that maybe the in-play bet is the way to go. There's plenty chat. I'll get to most of you. I won't reply. I'll throw it out to the boys. But make sure you give out your tips and leans. Let's move on. Sassuolo. Love Sassuolo. They score 3 goals in 10 minutes in nearly every single game they play at the moment. They are absolutely on fire, and they're minus 188. The draw at plus 375 and Lecce at plus 550. Can Sassuolo, can they get the job done again?
Look, they can. They mostly can. They are heavily favorite. Although never underestimate the desperation factor in any team. Lecce saw an extremely disappointing defeat against Sampdoria in a direct rival. They are third from the bottom. Still 1 point to Genoa, but Lecce is still fading away their options, their hopes. And it was an unfair defeat because they were heavily damaged by the refereeing. Thing is that Sassuolo got a full stomach. They won 3-1 at Fiorentina in a very surprising way, completely driving over Fiorentina. They aren't really pushed by any need, while Lecce are. Thing is that both, they play very open. So the game is tipped to be very entertaining, very, very entertaining to watch. Obviously, Sassuolo being more clinical, but anyway, very entertaining to watch. So, sorry, I would say over 1.5 goals in the second half. And actually the odds on this, the one I picked, the European, are 167, are maybe not even that high for what is the kind of bet. But because these two teams are the one that play the most openly. So really, it's in a moment where the league is offering goals in every game, in this one there could be even more than usual.
Well, we're on that Sassuolo bandwagon at the moment, Alex, because they just look like and believe that they're going to score every time they go forward. But keeping the back door closed has been a problem as well.
Yeah, this is why we are not touching the winners market because it's dangerous. What to bet on a team when they are scoring 9 goals in the last 3 matches? And we are not talking about Atalanta here. We are talking about Sassuolo, right? So 3 goals against Fiorentina in that 3-1 win, 3 against Verona, and we know that Verona are better in their defense than they are going forward. And Sassuolo put it 3 on them, and also 3 against Inter Milan. And we are talking about the 3rd team in the standings, who are saying that they are fighting for the title. So what to expect? Let's not even complicate ourselves. I'm thinking also that Lecce will help us with our bet. Over 2.5 goals, and I really don't understand the price. 1.72 should be a banker, should be a 2 units play, this one.
No, I couldn't agree more. Don't complicate it. Don't look elsewhere. It's over 2.5 goals at 1.72, which, if I just quickly do my maths, it's about minus 135. Okay, let's move on. I love this game. I love this game, and after last week, I'm so confident. Lazio at plus 144, draw plus 240, and Milan at plus 220, Tan.
Look, it's very complicated for Lazio, much more than expected. Why? First of all, they would have definitely preferred Milan to win at SPAL, so they could be a bit more relaxed. Milan were heavily surprised by SPAL. It might be that Ibrahimovic would be back from the beginning because he was already back on the pitch against SPAL in the last half hour, but he might be ready to start now the game. But the main thing is that Lazio, who were dodgy in the first half against Torino and needed to come back in the second half, but will miss for suspension both Ciro Immobile and Felipe Caicedo. This means that Simone Inzaghi doesn't have the first 2 choices up front. This means that he will have to go with the tactics that he was using, probably, we still don't know, with some tactics that he was using 2 years ago. And I'm talking about that 3-5-1-1 with Luis Alberto, who is now the regista in the middle, playing as number 10 behind Correa. So it's not something that Lazio doesn't know to play, but anyway, it's different from the way they have been playing in the last year and a half. But also, that kind of tactics, they usually used to play against, especially against teams that were playing openly. Milan is closing behind, is not conceding spaces. For this reason, it will be a fight, and I see a draw at halftime because it will be very hard to open the score at the beginning. European odds, it's 2.15 draw at the half-time.
Yeah, plus 115 to be a draw at half-time. That's fast becoming the Tan Classic, draw at half-time. I can't have Milan, Alex. I just can't have them. I think that they are absolutely, as Martin Green, my other guest on another show, says, they are laborious.
Martin Green will love the fact that Benevento is back in Serie A for the next season.
Yeah, exactly.
And he will be happy to fade them week in and week out. This is what Akira was saying on the live chat, that he's very happy that Benevento are back and we can play against them week in and week out. Yeah, we cannot trust AC Milan on the road, but we cannot trust Lazio missing their superstar Ciro Immobile, who scored almost half of their goals this season. Imagine to have one player to score half of your goals, and also your second striker Caicedo, we both suspended from yellow cards there, many yellow cards, and like Tan said, Correa to play in front with Luis Alberto behind him. But exactly as Tan said, it's not something that they don't know how to play. They also have Milinkovic-Savic also in the midfield, and he might help. They also have Parolo there, so I think that they still have an impressive midfield. I was thinking about a draw, but I was thinking about a draw with goals. I cannot play Milan either. I was thinking with those two missing that Milan have a chance. Paqueta, I think that he will play again in the starting 11 and Zlatan on the bench there. And maybe Zlatan will appear also in the second half a bit. I think that both teams to score, yes, at 1.73 represents a great value. But I'm also going with over 2.25 on the Asian handicap, so 2.25, meaning that if you have only 2 goals in the match, it's half loss, half void. If you have 3, it's a win. So both for me, over 2.25 at 1.73, but also both teams to score at 1.73.
I'm just Lazio, draw no bet for me. I don't see Milan winning the game. So listen, it's just a free hit. I'm just going to go with Lazio, draw no bet. And obviously if you boys are on the draw and you've got to draw half time, then I'm more than happy to have a push and you boys pick up. Now let's go to Inter, minus 200. Looks like a skinny price this. Draw plus 350 and Bologna at plus 600. Tan, Inter scoring 6 without Lukaku. Been saying all season that Lukaku, no good.
Yeah, but it's just that you have been tough on Lukaku now. Alexis Sanchez had a fantastic game. Alexis Sanchez had a fantastic game. Probably Inter needed to have that reaction. Again, anyway, it was Brescia, which started good, but still, it's Brescia. Now, Bologna is a completely different kind of beast. Bologna made a hard life to Juventus, won at Sampdoria. It was a nasty game at home against Cagliari, but Bologna largely deserved. Bologna got only one thing missing, a proper scorer. If they would have a decent, normal scorer, they would be, I believe, at least 6, 7, 8 points more up. Inter conceded chances even to Brescia at the beginning. Twice Brescia wasted chances in open goal just in front of Andanovic. It's true that Bologna are missing a proper scorer, but they aren't that crap in front of the goal. So I would say over 2.5 goals, Inter Bologna. I stay with that. The odds in European are 160. I'm not confident with the combo Inter to win and over, because Bologna is one of the typical rival against Inter can screw.
Yeah, I'm going into again, and especially if Lukaku don't play. I've got to mention KKJM saying Lukaku is a legend. Listen, he's done far better than I thought he would, but I think that Inter are a little bit one-dimensional when he plays. And the other day, listen, there was no Lukaku. They were flying down both wings. They were playing 1-2s around. I love that they just become perpetual motion. So I'm going to go with Inter Milan and over 1.5, Alex.
I love this perpetual motion. Can I paint it on the wall of my house? Perpetual motion.
I'm sure your wife would be happy if you went into perpetual motion, Tan. Alex, Inter and over 1.5.
I'm going with both teams to score at an amazing price of 1.8. I think that Inter know how to concede goals after the restart of the Serie A. Bologna have the necessary weapons to find the back of the net against Inter. Yes, I loved the fact that Alexis Sanchez was on fire because I like him as a player. I know that he was very poor in the Premier League, but I think that if next season in Inter, he will be a top scorer and a brilliant assister. Lukaku, you cannot say bad words about him because Lautaro Martinez and Romelu Lukaku scored 40 together this season for Inter. So don't say bad words about Lukaku, please, Flash. He's one of us. He's one of your strikers. I saw some matches with you, and I think that you two have something in common, you know.
But he's done great, Alex. He has done great. I just think Inter are a better side without him. And obviously, I think he scored like 20 goals now. So, listen, he's done far better than I thought he would. And I know there's a few people in the chat that are giving me stick. I love stick. But Pronosticos, he loves giving out the stick. Just let me tell you, Pronosticos, I bet that when you was at school and they line everyone up and they have the two teams, I bet you was the last pick. I bet no one wanted you on their team. Okay, let's move on. Brescia, the whipping boys at plus 400. Draw, plus 285. And Verona, 115. And that's a minus in front. They're favourites on the road, Tan.
They are largely favourite, maybe even too much. Because it's true that, as I said, Brescia were trashed in the last 60 minutes against Inter. But they didn't start badly. And they played very decently against Fiorentina and against Genoa in the previous two games. Obviously, anyway, Verona are giving a surprise game by game. But the thing I was surprised about is that the over 2.5 goals in this game is particularly high. It's on European, the average was 180. And it's surprising because see, Verona now are fighting for that 7th spot at the moment occupied by Milan. They are far from having any trouble about relegation. It's passed behind them. Everything that is coming for them is just a gift, one more gift. So they are free in mind to play. On the contrary, Brescia are desperate, as was Lecce. So they will never sit back. A draw is not changing anything to Brescia. So they will for sure continue to play. And with these premises, over 2.5 goals and 180, in my opinion, is very good odds.
Alex, do we like Verona being odds on away from home?
At 1.65, I wouldn't play it. Over 2.5 seems like a screamer here, and shop around for your odds because it's at 1.9 with some bookies, for example, Bet365. But yeah, I think that Brescia can find the back of the net. They will have fun for the last 9 games. Verona will come to attack and to win the game because they have a chance on that European positions. But as Tan said, it's always difficult to play against a side who already knows that they are going down, who will come to enjoy the match. Who knows, maybe some of the managers will see some of their players and keep them also for next season to transfer them in Serie A. So I think that is always dangerous at 1.65 to touch such a team as Verona. But yes, they have the first chance. I mean, the way that they played Parma It was unbelievable. Me, I liked it very much. It was an entertaining game. Also, it was one-on-one that game. Also, Parma could have won that game, to be honest. But after all, football is played with goals, and Verona scored 3. And I'm sure that they will probably return home with the 3 points. But at 1.9, I will play the over 2.5 goals because I don't want to risk at 1.65 an odd of on Verona.
No, I get that, and I went with Parma double chance and sitting at 2-2. I thought that's it. I'm absolutely home and hosed, and then Verona found the winner. So yeah, listen, they do keep going forward, and they've got plenty of energy, and they're starting to have a little bit more now coming off the bench. Let's move on. Cagliari at plus 500, draw plus 360, and the absolute scoring machine Atalanta at minus 171. Tan.
There isn't much more to add about Atalanta, even though this time the way they won was completely different from what they have done in the season. And this is actually telling even more and better about them, because they played not like being a hammer pushing all the game, but understanding the right moment, when to attack, when to hold, when to defense. A way to be pragmatic that we didn't know from Atalanta. We learned that Atalanta were a little kind of a Klopp machine. So just this team always pushing. And instead they were just understanding to adjust the situation. In this last win against Napoli. The situation against Cagliari is different, even if Cagliari are pretty hard to take. But if you check the Cagliari games, what happens is that they always start very tight and goals come by the end. 1, 2, even more. Always by the end. It has always been like this in the games they played. So, if you apply that also to Atalanta, I would go happily with over 1.5 goals in the second half, which is, depends, you can find 160, 170. 1.5 goals in the second half. Over 1.5 goals.
And that's fast becoming a Tan classic as well, Alex.
If you can read my writing, so not many people can do that, because I have the doctor's writing. I'm sorry, what you said, Flash?
I said I can't read your writing. Can you read your writing?
No, I think that you cannot read your writing, not after.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Forgot that the show was meant to be at 10 o'clock, sorry.
Okay.
That's
So
becoming a Monty Python betting segment. You know?
I have the same bet as Tan, 1.71 over 1.5 goals in the second half. I think that there is the only value that you can find from this match. I don't think I'm not very, very upset that we lost the bet on Atalanta versus Napoli, because I'm more happy to see that that Atalanta knows to adjust their play. This is what I want from this team. Gasperini is a master, because he said to his team, look, we have so many matches to play. We're going 2-0 up against such a good side. Okay, good side. Let's speak after that about Napoli, because I was very, very disappointed with them. But okay, we have so many matches. Let's not push ourselves to the limits, you know? Let's keep some energy also for the later games, because we are playing 2 games per week till the end of the season. That is absolutely incredible for any athlete in this world. So I'm going for the same bet, and I think that Atalanta will win again. Basically, Atalanta won more points on the road than at home, because they always find spaces more on the road than at home.
No, I totally agree. A counter-attack, listen, they're patient as well. And that was the big thing for me the other night. They didn't get flustered. They didn't change their game plan. It was 0-0 at half-time. Everyone was thinking, oh, here we go. And then just out of nowhere, 2 goals in like 5 minutes. Job done. Now, move on. Here's my team. Parma. Never failed to score, so we like Parma. Parma at plus 200, the draw at plus 245, and Fiorentina are at plus 240. This is a coin flip, but both teams, for me, definitely score, Tan.
Yes, I go with that, but I raise. I have to tell you, what is the mood in the two camps at the moment? Fiorentina are in danger. The defeat against Sassuolo was humiliating. It's not the result, but the way, if you find on YouTube the goals, the way the Fiorentina defense considered goals was very humiliated. And I have to tell you one thing. Fiorentina got 6 points advantage over relegation. There are 3 teams behind Fiorentina, in between them. Well, no, actually 2, because Udinese won, in between them and the relegation. But in Florence, they have never forgot what has happened in '93, when they had this very fantastic team with Batistuta, Effenberg, and many others. They were at the 3rd place of the table by, let's say, the round 12, 13. They fired the manager, Gigi Radice, was never known why. It is rumored that was fired because he was too gentle with the wife of the president. And so the president got jealous. It was never cleared why. By the moment they fired the manager, Fiorentina lost 1 game after the other. They ended up being relegated at the end of the season. Again, a team with Batistuta, Effenberg, etc., etc. Now, Fiorentina got that trauma has never disappeared from Florence. Whenever Fiorentina is getting closer to the relegation zone, the city is falling in panic suddenly. You don't understand why, because you would say them, guys, stay put, come on. There is time before going panic. But they are like this, and this is the situation now at Florence. On the other side, I spoke with people at Camp Parma, and they are raging, furious, angry, because honestly, they were robbed against Verona. There was at least 1 penalty, at least 1, if not 2, that were completely taken out of the hat from the referee. So they will have this huge anger to come back. They have lost at the last minute against Inter, that against Verona. So I see Parma making the most of these fears of Fiorentina. So I go with mine, that is the special combo of this week, because I saw that the odds on Fiorentina are pretty low. And I said, this can be. So I would say with a combo that is going Parma to win and both teams to score. And that depends, but you can find it even at 4.75 in European bets. It's extremely high.
Oh, it's massive. I'm having a bit of Parma just to win at plus 200, Alex.
Yeah, I'm not that crazy as you are, guys, but I believe that you're making a great point there. I'm just going Parma with the draw no bet at 2.15. So in case it's a draw, I will not lose my money.
Yeah,
in case if Parma wins.
Yeah, I like that, Alex.
I love it more than a great bet. The value is on Parma here. I think that since the restart of the season, I think that they are the better side.
Yeah.
Fiorentina will not go down. I don't think that. I think that there are some other teams worse than them. And the 3 teams that are now in danger, Lecce, SPAL, and Brescia, I think that those 3 will remain also after putting a line at the end of the season. But I think that in this one, Parma, we cannot say that, okay, Parma is at home. Because, again, no fans in the stands. So let's not even talk about Parma at home or Juventus at home or whatever, because it doesn't really matter. As Tan said, Parma got robbed against Verona. They have incredible players, young players that will do a great career in my opinion. They will sell some of them at the end of the season. I'm sure they already sold one of them. So I think that here Parma with draw no bet at 2.15 should be the value.
I think it's a banker. I think that is an absolute banker. And why wouldn't you just go with Parma? Listen, the big thing about Parma is they keep going. They play the same way. And they just need to finish off their chances. They've got great spirit and togetherness. So for me, listen, I'm going to give you my banker at the end. But it will begin with P and it will end in Arma. Okay, here we go. Sampdoria at minus 105. Draw plus 265. And Sport plus 330. Sampdoria, they're dull, but they're starting to gain a little bit of confidence, Tancredi.
Yeah, and mind, this is probably the last chance for SPAL. SPAL were so close to win against Milan, but this is basically, there are 5 teams that are involved in relegation because Udinese won, so SPAL, Brescia, Lecce that are the last 3, then Genoa 1 point over Lecce, and then Sampdoria. So it's one of the very last chance for SPAL, and that's how they are playing this, with desperation. I was surprised to see even here the both teams to score odds too high for what is the moment, at the moment, the situation in Italy, where actually you have both teams to score in 9 out of 10 games. In Europe, you find more or less 1.73, something like that. But considering how SPAL will enter the game, how will be their approach, even Sampdoria, they are not such an entertaining team, but they will find more space. So I think that goals will just come. So I go with both teams to score.
Both teams to score. Sampdoria trying to keep it a little bit tighter at the back, Alex.
I don't know what is happening for this weekend, but it seems like most of our bets are on the same page. I think that Tancredi is reading my emails and he's just copy pasting them.
He's getting the memo.
So
yeah, talk about that. Talk. Yes.
I will give you the password after the show, so not to be bothered to go call the hackers and so on to pay them. So again, with both teams to score, I am on the same page at 1.78. I think that SPAL is in danger. I think that this is the last train that they can take to try to save themselves from relegation. If they lose this match, that's it. The season is over. So I think that they will fight. This is the last train again. I think that they will score. They have a decent attacking side. I think that they will contribute on the scoreboard. And Ranieri, I think that is going for the win. So both teams to score looks good at 1.78.
Okay, listen, something's just caught my eye here. Where is it? Rohil Bardwaj says, Papa Flash, you lost me some money this week. How? 6 out of 7 play of the days of 1. I gave you an 8-team parlay in Serie A. What have you been doing? How have I lost you money? The only way you'd lose money by watching this show is if you had a hole in your pocket and it fell out. Because there's no way you lost money betting watching any of our shows. So sort yourself out or get yourself on the right channel. Here we go. Udinese plus 145, draw plus 230, and Genoa at plus 225. I see this more of a coin flip, to be fair, Tancredi.
You're not far from the way I see it. I have to say, I have picked these odds, this prediction, looking at the odds, because when I saw the odds on Genoa to win, they were too juicy to let it go. The situation is very leveled, but you must consider one thing. First of all, Udinese got full 24 hours less of rest. Full 48 hours less to rest than Genoa. Genoa played on Tuesday night against Juventus. Udinese played on Thursday night against Roma. And Udinese incredibly won. Now, this win for Udinese has been capital because going +6 over relegation, they feel like the job is almost done. And they've been a long time waiting for such a win. So they can go there quite satisfied. I'm not saying it will be an open way for Genoa, but Genoa are exactly on the opposite way. They are still looking for that win. They have much more that hunger. That odds of the American one plus 225 are absolutely huge on Genoa. The game is leveled, but for that kind of odds, it is absolutely worth to risk.
Okay, Alex, how do you see this? Genoa are not bad, and they keep having a go. Dangerous, organised, but a plus 225.
I don't know when the bookies will realize that they are making a mistake, and I don't want to give them ideas on how to put the price on the teams. But I will repeat myself with both teams to score at 1.83 because this is the way to go also in this match. I think that both teams have the quality to find the back of the net, and let's go with the trend. Why not? Sometimes it's clever to go with like that. Sometimes it's good because we are watching the matches. Let's not forget that all three of us, including Flash, that of course he's the host, but he has to see his matches because he was a football player and he loves his matches. And he will tell you after how many matches he's watching per week, and he's waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning to watch them because he's in Costa Rica right now. I remember the old times 2 years ago when I was in Costa Rica to preview the World Cup. I was waking up, me and Natalie, at 4:35
Don't
in
give
the
me
morning
that. You hadn't gone to bed.
watch.
If you're with Natalie, there's every chance you've gone straight through.
Yeah, sometimes we did that from party, from grilling directly to matches, and after that to filming the previews. But let's not complicate ourselves. Both teams to score at 1.83, and yes, we are watching most of the games in a week in almost all the important leagues in Europe.
Without a doubt. I mean, I think I did 16 live games last weekend alone. It's up at 6 and we end at 4. Normally we have the Spanish game that kicks off at 2 o'clock my time, 9 or 10 o'clock Spanish. Now this is another one. This next game was close to being my banker, so I'm definitely 100% going to be on top of it. And I cannot believe the price. Napoli plus 115, draw plus 270, and Roma plus 250. Roma could be plus 500, Tancredi. For me, Roma have gone.
Yeah, it's something, it's unexplainable, to be honest, because it seems like just the team is not behind the manager. I know they respect a lot the manager, but the way they've played, to be honest, it's very weird. This is actually the opposite from what is happening in Naples. You know that the team is behind the manager. You know that Gattuso has shouted a lot in the years of his players after losing to Atalanta. Normally, I would say Napoli to win. But, it's complicated because there is 3 points behind Napoli and Roma. Now they are fighting for that spot. That is important, especially for Roma, not for Napoli, because Napoli are already qualified to the final stage of Europa League. Roma, slipping in position, could risk to pass through preliminary round. But anyway, Napoli is not conceding anything. This is the so-called sun derby in Italy. There will be sun, there won't be crowd. It's a pity because it's one of the most tense games. You always see kicks and cards when these two are playing. Maybe without crowd won't be that tense. But if you check all the games of Napoli and Roma, always plenty of goals coming in the last half hour. So when I saw the odds, I said, I can't miss that. So I say over 1.5 goals in the second half, which at the moment is at 183 in Europe.
Yeah, listen, if it's not broke, it don't need fixing, Alex. And he's going over 1.5 goals in the second half again.
It's a huge pass for me, this game. I would rather enjoy watching it than play it and bet it. I think that I cannot find the value. I don't know what to bet on it, so I rather stay away, not to be forced to give a tip. I think that in the midweek it was Atalanta's week when AS Roma lost, Napoli lost, AC Milan draw. It was fully Atalanta's midweek round. I think that both Roma and Napoli right now are forced to win this game because I don't know, even Verona has the chance to catch them from behind if they will again one of them slip and lose this game. So I would rather stay, enjoy. I think my only lean here, just a lean, under 2.5 goals at 2.15.
Yeah, I thought it was a 2-0 win, funnily enough, and you've just said under 2.5. Yeah, I'm going with Napoli all the way. I mean, I've got 3 teams that I really like, and they're all at home. I like Lazio at plus price, I like Napoli at plus price, and I love Parma at plus price. So I'm going to be with them 3. Now, give me a rundown, please, Alex. If you've got a parlay, then stick it in, but I definitely need a banker.
Juventus minus 1.5 at 1.83, halftime, full time at 1.83. Sassuolo Lecce over 2.5 goals at 1.72. This is my banker for this week. Lazio versus Milan over 2.25 at 1.7. Both teams to score at 1.73. Inter Bologna, both teams to score at 1.8. Brescia Verona over 2.5 goals at 1.9. Cagliari Atalanta second half goals over 1.5 at 1.71. Parma with draw no bet at 2.15. Sampdoria SPAL, both teams to score at 1.78. Udinese Genoa, both teams to score at 1.83. Napoli Roma, huge pass.
Okay, before I come to you, Tan, if you like this video as much as I have, by the way, it's been absolutely great. But I'm going to do a little bit of a reverse here. We've got 145 watching, but only 53. So that means that 90, basically, you should bang on 90. If you have not pressed that thumbs up, please press the thumbs up and give Tancredi and Alex your appreciation. Don't worry about me. I don't need the love. Now, also, if you love this video, then please subscribe, press the button, ring the bell. Ring the bell means you could be just relaxing. Ding! Oh, SBR Sports. There you go, YouTube channel, and we will throw the content at you. You will never miss it again. And also, you press the link in the description. Not only can you watch, you can read from Dave, from Alex, from Martin on our soccer pages. And also, we have other writers on other sports. Remember, Jason Radowitz coming up very soon on the baseball from South Korea and from Japan. Now, Tancredi, follow that.
My best slip is Juventus Torino, no goals. Sassuolo Lecce over 1.5 goals in the second half. Lazio Milan draw at halftime. Inter Bologna over 2.5 goals. Brescia Verona over 2.5 goals. Cagliari Atalanta over 1.5 goals in the second half. Sampdoria SPAL, both teams to score. Udinese Genoa, Genoa to win. Napoli Roma over 1.5 goals in the second half. And if Alex God is Alex Special, then my pick of the week, I will just name it the Tank Pack. My Tank Pack is Parma Fiorentina combo, Parma to win and both teams to score.
Wow, that's a massive price. Did I get a banker from you, Alex?
I did Sassuolo versus Lecce over 2.5 goals at 1.72.
Excellent. I'm just going to make it short, sweet. Listen, I agree with a lot of what the boys said, but I love Lazio at home, I love Parma at home, and I love Napoli at home. And just remember what I tried to give you a little bit of advice earlier. If you're not getting the right price with your books, then go over to sportsbookreview.com. Have a good look. There's all the different books there. I'd sign up with them all, to be honest, and then you can just play one off against another. And at some stage, I know you're going to be on the right side of value. Tan, have a great weekend. Alex, have a great weekend. May all your bets be winners. Thanks for everything in the chat. I love it. I love it. I even love Pro, who loves to troll me. Have a great weekend, everyone. And we'll see you again on Monday. I think it's Monday. We'll see you again soon. Take care.
Ciao.